Um, I did have some challenges as a child. I had a speech impediment and had to go to a speech pathologist from age 1.5 to I think around 4. I was told in first grade that I had learning challenges. I wasn't able to read. My writing, I was also born with a hand and arm turned inward. And so I wrote kind of strange, and I tend to write backwards. So I had writing, reading, speaking challenges as a child. In first grade, my parents had to come to the school, and the teacher said to my parents, "I'm afraid your son will never be able to read, never be able to write, never communicate, never amount to things, never go very far in life." But when I got out of my braces, which I wore from a 1.5 to 4 years old, all I wanted to do is run. So my teacher told my parents, put him in some sort of sport where he can run. So I ended up taking up surfing as a sport. I ended up making it through elementary school by asking kids in school, the smartest kids, what they got out of class, and they would tell me information, and I could retain information if I was told it, but I wasn't able to read it very effectively. And speech was not great. And I ended up making it through elementary school with the help of smart kids by asking questions. And to dodge the kind of dumb projection that people were putting on me, because I had to wear a dunce cap when I was in first grade, I kind of became the class clown, if you will, always trying to make some fun out of things to dodge the issue. When I got to 7th grade, we had moved from Houston, Texas to Richmond, Texas. And there I didn't have a bunch of smart kids. It was a low socioeconomic area, a lot of racial issues. And I ended up failing and ended up dropping out of school. So I dropped out of school. I tried to go to a different school first, but I finally just dropped out of school, became a street kid. So I had a bit of a challenge in the beginning with learning. And I didn't really read effectively until I was 18. That's when I went back and tried to go and learn how to. I took a GED at that time and again, eventually passed that, and then tried to go back to school and failed initially. And then I decided, with the help of my mom said something to me that was extremely important. She saw me crying on the living room floor. Due to pass, I got a 27, the first test I ever tried to take in school again.
Yeah.
And I just about wanted to give up. And my mom said to me, whether you become a great teacher and travel the world like you say you dream about and learn, or whether you go back and ride big waves in Hawaii like you've done, or whether you return to the streets and panhandle, I just want to let you know that your father and I are going to love you no matter what you do. And when she gave me a moment of unconditional love, and with such certainty and such gratitude, my hand went into a fist. I looked up and I saw the vision that I had gathered when I was 17 about wanting to be a teacher and overcome my learning problems. And I made a commitment to myself. I'm going to master this thing called reading and studying and learning. I'm going to master this thing called teaching. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to travel whatever distance. I'm going to pay whatever price to give my service of love across the planet. I'm not going to let any human being on the planet nor myself interfere with this now. I got up and I hugged my mom. I went into my room and I got a dictionary out and I started memorizing 30 words a day in a dictionary and had to pronounce them, spell them, use them in a sentence and put the meaning together. And my mom and I worked on it where I grew my vocabulary 30 words a day until I was able to pass school and learn how to read. And so I did have learning challenges until then. At age 18, my reading capacity started accelerating. And when I was about 19, right, weeks before my 19th birthday, my mom said, "What do you want for your birthday?" Because I was born on Thanksgiving Day and for Christmas. And I said, "Well, Mom, now that I know how to read, I just want the greatest teachings, greatest writings, the greatest ideas from the greatest minds who ever lived from around the world. I'm thirsty. I want to learn." And so she said, well, you sure you don't want a t-shirt? I said, no. I said, I want the greatest writings on the planet. She said, well, let me see what I can do. And she had a brother who was a professor at MIT and a physicist and chemist. And as a gift, my uncle, Ralph, we called him, sent 2 giant 6x6 wooden crates on a flatbed truck to our home, and they were unloaded on the ground.
Wow.
And I took a crowbar and opened up these big crates and filled my room with thousands of books, and just started to devour. And every word I didn't know, I looked it up, I read it and wrote it 20 times until I learned a word. And I just kept growing my vocabulary and growing and learning how to read. And I started devouring books. I lived 18 to 20 hours a day just trying to read. And I've been blessed now to read over 30,613 books as of today.
Wow, that is amazing.
So I'm a firm believer. It's not about what you've been through, what you're going through, or what you've experienced. It's about what you decide to do.
Yes.